Hi there, it's Claire from Couture, and today I've been promising for so many weeks that I'm going to show you how to add a new colour, and that is what I'm going to do today. So I have cast on and knitted 5 rows in our teal colour, and now I'm going to move to our seal colour, teal and seal. Okay. So if you don't know how to arm knit, if this is your first ever experience, I'll put a link down below to our other arm knitting video, which will give you the lowdown on how to get to this stage. So at a point that you're ready to add your new colour, I always do this at the end, or should I say the beginning of a row. And what I do is I just take my yarn, and I think I've probably got about 14 inches there, and you can just go like this. And saves using scissors. So I always leave quite a long tail when I'm changing colours, because that is important for when you are tying your ends, and I'll show you that on my next video. So at a point when you are going to add your new colour, let's just make a little bit of space here. I just want you to think about it as in you're going to imagine that you are just continuing to arm knit. So we just pop the yarn over our thumb and get the new stitch and put that new stitch onto our left hand, or it doesn't matter, it can be either way around, making sure that you leave a generous tail. So I've got 12 inches plus there. So, and then you just continue arm knitting in your new colour. If you want a recap, like I said on the arm knitting video, I've put the link down below so you can have a look at that. I don't do anything with those two ends at this stage. I just simply leave them. There is no reason, because you've made tails that are long enough, they're not going to fall out. And then I just keep going. So then I'll go on to my next row. And I'm just going to complete maybe another one row after this, and then I will cast off and I will show you how to tie in the ends. So if these are getting if the joining bits are getting a bit loose, just pull them back into place, just pull the yarn, wiggle them about, and you'll be absolutely fine. Just going to create myself a bit more yarn, because it just, big blankets, arm knitted blankets, they can eat up the wool. Okay, so here we go. Let's do one more row, and then I will show you how to cast off. Ooh. I'm actually loving this seal colour. It's a new colour to our range. I've never used it before, but I like it. Okay, so to cast off, all you do, drop your stitch off, and I just put my stitch like that around my hand at this point, and then I cast off another stitch and I just pull that through and then put my hand on there. Pretty simple. Like I said, we have got the main arm knitting tutorials, so if you do want to learn how to do this and you've never arm knitted before, just jump onto the link down below, and I'm sure you'll find that ever so helpful. Right, so we've got to the end here. Right, and again, I will always leave long tails on the yarn because it's helpful when we're tying in the ends. So, let's have a look. Just get this out of the way. Also, did you know if you just give your blanket a little tug like that, I find it evens out all of your stitches. So this is how it's looking at this point, and now I'm going to show you how to tie in the ends. So firstly, I class this as the front, and I'm going to turn it over onto what I class the back. And we'll just get rid of that end there. And here we go. So, these are your two ends. Oh, one's a little bit longer than the other, but never mind, let's just get that more in shot. Here we go. So you can see that this is where you have joined your yarns, and the technique that I have used for the last 5 years to tie in the ends of the yarns and stop them showing is really, really simple. So I just make a simple knot. And what I'm looking for here is, if you look at the edge of your work, this is I class this as the front. If you look at the front of your work, you want all your stitches, you know, to be roughly the same length. Now, if they're not the same length, just undo this knot that we've created and just jiggle around with these stitches and just look at the front and say to yourself, am I happy with that length? Does it look good? Does it look like all of the other stitches? And then once you're happy, just make that first knot. And if you look at it, it just looks like all of the rest, doesn't it? I mean, there's no difference. Then what I do is, this yarn, you can just pull it apart like that. Ta-da! And then what I do is I go behind just one stitch. And like I say, I've made these blankets for years and years now, and I've sold them as well as selling them in kits. And this is the method that I have used to secure the ends every time. So I've just tied one knot, and then we can just tie another knot. And this knot I am going to tie really, really, really tight. So, like as tight as I can. And all I do then is I just simply snip off the ends, and I'd say, I don't know, I've left 2 or 3 millimeters. Can you see that? I've just left 2 or 3 millimeters, looks like the top of a pom-pom. And I snip off both ends. And then I just simply hide that underneath the stitch, pull the stitch out a bit. I can guarantee you that the stitch won't move, honestly. And if you look at it from the front, you can't see anything. It just looks absolutely right. Okay, so on to the next stage. I'm going to split this yarn in 2 again, just like that. And I'm going to take one end under there. And then I'm going to bring the other end back up there. And I'm going to take the second end through there. And then I'm going to tie the knot here underneath this stitch. Just make sure that when you're doing this, that it's just sitting nice and flat. That's the key to it. You don't want to pull it too tight. And I'm just going to tie the ends together here. And again, I'm going to pull on this second one, and I'm going to do it really, really tight. And then I'm going to snip the ends off, just like that. And then I'm just going to pop that stitch underneath there, just pull that out a little bit, and there we go. That is how I would finish off one of my arm knitted blankets. Let me show you what I'd do with this end here, this one here. So I'm just going to weave that one in there, and I'm going to go to secure my stitch underneath this one. So again, I just take my yarn and split it, and I've just taken one end in through that way, and just make sure all your fibre is running the right way, and then just make a simple knot, and then let's do a double knot, and we're going to pull really tight on it again. I mean, I use all my strength that I can. And then I just snip off the end, and I just hide it underneath that stitch, pulling out the stitch. And you know, because there's fibres in here, it's just going to all hold itself in place. So that is what one of my arm knitted blankets look like. So if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, and do subscribe to the channel. We'll be bringing out more videos, and thank you for joining us today. Thank you.